Once upon a time, in the middle of a cold and snowy winter, a queen sat by her window sewing. As she worked, she accidentally pricked her finger with her needle, and 3 drops of bright red blood fell onto the white snow on the windowsill. The queen gazed at the striking contrast of red on white and whispered softly, "I wish I had a child with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony wood." Not long after, the queen gave birth to a baby girl who looked exactly as she had wished. Her skin was as white as snow, her lips were deep red, and her hair was black as night. They named her Snow White. But joy was short-lived, for the queen passed away soon after. A year later, the king married again. His new queen was beautiful, but proud, vain, and cruel. She owned a magical mirror, and every day she would stand before it and ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" And the mirror always replied, "You, my queen, are the fairest of all." This answer pleased her greatly. As Snow White grew older, her beauty blossomed. By the time she was only 7 years old, she had already become more beautiful than the queen herself. One morning, when the queen asked her mirror the usual question, the mirror replied, "You are fair, O queen, it's true, but Snow White is fairer than you." The queen was enraged. Her jealousy grew into deep hatred, and she could no longer bear the sight of Snow White. Overcome with anger, she ordered a huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest, kill her, and bring back her heart as proof. The huntsman led Snow White far into the woods. But when he raised his knife, Snow White began to weep. "Please, dear huntsman, do not hurt me. Let me go, and I promise I will never return." The huntsman looked at her innocent face and felt great pity. She was too kind and too gentle to harm. He let her go and told her to run far away. To deceive the queen, he killed a wild boar and brought its heart back to the castle, pretending it belonged to Snow White. Believing the lie, the queen had the heart cooked and ate it. Meanwhile, Snow White wandered alone in the dark forest. Every rustle frightened her, every shadow made her tremble. She did not know where to go. After hours of wandering, she came across a little house in a clearing. Inside were 7 tiny plates, 7 cups, and 7 small beds. Hungry and exhausted, Snow White tasted a little food from each plate and drank from each cup. She then tried each of the 7 beds until she found one that felt just right, and soon she fell fast asleep. That night, the 7 dwarfs who lived in the little house returned from their work in the mountains. They were startled to see that someone had been in their home. And in the 7th bed, they found the sleeping girl. Amazed by her beauty, they decided not to wake her. In the morning, Snow White awoke and was frightened at first, but the dwarfs were kind and gentle. They asked her name and how she had come to their house. Snow White told them everything, about her cruel stepmother, the huntsman, and her escape through the forest. The dwarfs offered her a home in exchange for keeping the house tidy, cooking, and cleaning. Snow White gladly agreed, and she lived happily with them. But the dwarfs warned her every morning before they left, "Be careful. Do not let anyone in. Your stepmother will soon learn that you are still alive." Back at the palace, the queen once again asked her mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" To her horror, the mirror replied, "You are fair, O queen, it's true, but Snow White beyond the hills with the 7 dwarfs is fairer still." Furious, the queen disguised herself as an old peddler woman and traveled to the dwarf's cottage. Snow White, thinking the old woman harmless, allowed her inside. The queen laced Snow White's bodice so tightly that the girl collapsed. Only when the dwarfs returned did they free her and revive her. They warned her again never to open the door for anyone. The next day, the queen tried again, this time disguised as a different woman. She created a poisoned comb and offered it to Snow White. When Snow White allowed her to place it in her hair, the poison worked immediately. Once again, the dwarfs found her lifeless, removed the comb, and revived her. But the queen was relentless. Learning Snow White still lived, she prepared her most dangerous trick, a beautiful red and white apple, poisoned only on one side. Disguised as a farmer woman, she offered Snow White the apple. When Snow White refused to open the door, the queen cut the apple in half. She ate the safe side herself and offered Snow White the poisoned red side. The moment Snow White took a bite, she fell to the ground, seemingly dead. This time, The dwarfs could not revive her. Believing she was truly gone, they wept for 3 days. They made a glass coffin and placed her upon the mountain, always keeping watch over her. Back at the palace, the queen finally received the answer she longed for. You, my queen, are the fairest of all. Time passed, until one day, a prince rode through the forest and saw the beautiful girl lying in the glass coffin. Moved by her beauty, he begged the dwarfs to let him take the coffin, promising to honor her forever. At first they refused, but his sincerity softened their hearts. As his servants carried the coffin, they stumbled, and the jolt caused the piece of poisoned apple to dislodge from Snow White's throat. She gasped, opened her eyes, and returned to life. The prince rejoiced and asked her, "Will you come with me to my castle? Will you be my queen?" Snow White agreed with joy. A grand wedding was held, and the wicked queen was invited, still believing Snow White to be dead. Before leaving, she asked her mirror one last time, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" The mirror replied, "You, my queen, are fair, it's true, but the new young queen is fairer than you." Filled with dread, she attended the wedding and discovered Snow White alive. There, a punishment awaited her. She was forced to wear red-hot iron shoes and dance until she fell, never to rise again. Snow White and the prince lived happily ever after, ruling their kingdom with kindness. Snow White never forgot the dwarfs who had saved her life, and they visited often, always welcomed with love and honor.